Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast, coming to you live here from the Poetry Bookshelf. And I'm so glad that you could join me for three uplifting poems. Please like our Facebook page, Strange Times Poetry Broadcast, to know when the new episodes are coming out, and also, of course, to see our archives. Today, I'm going to be talking about climbing. We were able to go for a walk in the woods. And of course, we got lost and sort of ended up walking out of the woods and having to take quite a circuitous route with the dog, with my wife, to get all the way back to where our car was parked, which was frustrating, but also kind of nice because, for a while we were pretty sick with the flu and we weren't able to leave the house. And then, things are as they are. So, how often do you, get lost in your own apartment? Rarely. So, there was some pleasure, I think, also in there being enough space to get lost. Um, and so maybe that's why I was thinking of climbing, climbing out of the woods a little bit. But yeah, climbing. You're climbing towards something, sometimes away from something, but climbing towards, climbing out, heading towards the light. These three poems deal with climbing in different ways. The first poem that I'm going to read is by Lucille Clifton from the Book of Light, a classic. And this poem is called Climbing. A woman precedes me up the long rope, her dangling braids the color of rain. Maybe I should have had braids. Maybe I should have kept the body I started, slim and possible as a boy's bone. Maybe I should have wanted less. Maybe I should have ignored the bowl in me burning to be filled. Maybe I should have wanted less. The woman passes the notch in the rope marked 60. I rise toward it, struggling, hand over hungry hand. So I just love the language of this poem and the repetitions. Slim and possible as a boy's bone. Very creative. And yeah, the hand over hungry hand climbing, seeing the person ahead of them, is it, an ancestor or just a stranger, and trying to reach towards where they're going as well, for better or for worse. Maybe I should have wanted less. No, I think that one answers itself. Hunger is good. So our next poem is by Elaina Ellis, who sent me a really nice note one time about my poetry, and it's called Dune Song. And this poem, too, there's an image or a conceit of climbing and um, climbing to answer a question, which is sort of interesting. The question is emotional, you know, it's not about something physical, but the act of climbing, which is very physical, sort of is used as a vehicle to answer it. So I enjoyed this poem. And Elaina Ellis's book, Write About an Empty Birdcage, was published by Write Bloody Publishing, and you should definitely check it out. Dune Song. Towards the height of the mountain was the question of gifts and who should get to keep them. I sat between a downward slope, steep as no, and a climb I couldn't make except to crawl. I crawled on sand and sweated in my hat. Though God believed I crawled for God, I crawled to know the height of my own rage. I carried myself, I cursed myself up, slid down, and named the day Adoption Day. I didn't bring my gifts to God, I kept them all. I crawled, I stood, I fell, I kept them all. I love the defiance of the speaker keeping the gifts for themselves, even against God. There's something about that feels so necessary. And I love it. And also the idea of a hill being steep as a no. It's almost like the speaker is the rock that keeps rolling down Sisyphus's rock, but it's like the rock itself trying to go up that hill steep as a no. Love it. All right, thanks, Elaina. All right, and my last poem is called June. It was inspired by a form in a poem that I really liked by George Herbert. And so I kind of took the rhyme scheme and the repetition scheme of his poem and used it to write my own poem with completely different words. And in this one, because I think, our first poem, Climbing, is hunger, is to get to somewhere. The next poem is to answer questions and, in some ways, self-preservation. In this poem, Climbing is I think it's about connection, and it's about stepping out and into something beautiful, climbing towards something beautiful or love. All right, for the speaker. June. June, so easily imagined, but not so easily lived. So easy to forget the last frost, the peas left unplanted. I planted my letters, tiles along a rail, one too short for receive. I don't know how to receive. An ant crying behind ants that climb for honey. We climbed the roof the first night it was warm enough. Enough, my head on your shoulder, the light rain falling. It was May rain. We like to bluff with our hands. We like to look at the streetlights, ants lining the streets, their bodies on fire. Receive me, June. Recede the fallow ground until the plants claw out, unimaginably sweet, if stunted. So there's many moments of climbing in this poem. The seeds climbing out of the ground, sweet, even if they're a little bit stunted, even if they not quite making it. They're still good. They still made it in a way. And climbing to receive, to accept something. June, so easily imagined but not so easily lived, is the life that you would imagine for yourself, but it's hard to get there and to sort of climb towards it, even if it's imperfect, even if it's stunted, but still sweet. It's important to climb. So for now, stay safe, stay sane, and good night. Bye.